opening with a low, rumbling guitar riff echoing in the background, but nah, we're just talking here, imagine it. All right, you lot, picture this. You're at a wedding, right? Some auntie's sloshed on cheap bubbly, your cousin's awkwardly grinding to whatever TikTok trash is blasting. And then, bam, the DJ drops that riff. You know the one. Dun 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 dun. Heads snap up like meerkats spotting a hawk. Even the vegan uncle who swears by folk tunes air guitars like his life's on the line. That's Back in Black, AC/DC's Thunderbolt from Down Under. It's the song that sneaks into your soul whether you want it or not. Funerals? Check, it's the eulogy that gets the priest headbanging. Road trips? It's the accelerator pedal for your inner demon. Hell, it's blasted at more bar mitzvahs than Hava Nagila. But here's the hook that'll reel you in like a marlin on steroids. This isn't just a tune. It's a resurrection story soaked in whiskey and regret. Born from the gut wrench of losing a legend, it clawed its way to becoming the second best-selling album ever, 50 million copies and counting. But what if I told you it almost killed the band instead of saving it? Stick around, because we're diving into the wild, wacky history of Back in Black. Obscure riffs, debunked devil whispers, and enough cultural ripples to drown a hair metal band in Aquanet. Let's crank it up. So, the spark. February the 19th, 1980. London. Bon Scott, AC/DC's wild-eyed frontman, the bloke who could make lyrics about schoolboys and thunderstruck angels sound like a pub brawl with the gods, chokes on his own vomit after a night that'd make Dionysus blush. Death by misadventure, the coroner calls it. Polite way of saying too much booze, not enough breath. Bon was 33, the heart of AC/DC's raw, balls-to-the-wall blues rock that turned Aussie brothers Angus and Malcolm Young from pub crawlers into global grenade launchers. The band's reeling. Manager Peter Mensch storms into their rehearsal space screaming, "It's over! Pack it up!" Fans are wailing obituaries in the papers. Hell, even the Youngs are packing boxes, thinking the Thunders struck out. But here's where it gets electric. 3 days after Bon's funeral, 3 days, Malcolm. Young picks up his guitar. Not for therapy, mind you, though Lord knows they needed it. "If we stop," he growls, "Bon's death means nothing." Enter the riff. That iconic coffin-nail drive of Back in Black. It wasn't born in a Bahamas studio with palm trees swaying. Nah, it sparked in a dingy London flat, Malcolm and Angus jamming half-drunk on grief, fingers bleeding on strings. The title? A nod to mourning, sure. Bon's black leather duds, the void he left. But also a middle finger to the Reaper. We're back, dressed in shadows, ready to rumble. Now the lyrics. Ah, the great ghostwriter debate. Whispers swirl like smoke from a blown amp. Did Bon scribble them before kicking the bucket? Some say he left scraps, a boozy notebook full of Back in Black I Hit the Sack vibes. Brian Johnson, new singer, fresh off Geordie obscurity, swears in his memoir, it's all him, hammered out in a Nassau haze. I was gutted, Brian admits. But those words poured out like bad moonshine. Angus backs him. Bon was the spark, but Brian lit the fuse. Still, the myth lingers, because who wouldn't want the devil's own penning his own epitaph? Imagine the what if, Bon rising like a zombie, belting it out in Hell's House Band. Chills, right? But truth is, it was Brian's voice, that Geordie screech like a rusty chainsaw, that sealed it. Audition day? They shove him in a van, blast whole lot of Rosie, and he wails like a banshee on bath salts. Hired on the spot. Off to the Bahamas they go, Riffs in tow, ready to bottle lightning. Cut to Compass Point Studios, April 1980. Paradise, yeah? Coconut palms, turquoise waves crashing like cymbals. But AC/DC, they're a cyclone in a bottle. Producer Mutt Lang, the mad scientist behind Def Leppard's pyrotechnics, corrals them like feral cats. 6 weeks flat to track 10 songs. No overdubs, no frills. Just sweat, Marshall stacks cranked to apocalypse, and enough Heineken to float a battleship. Picture Angus, schoolboy shorts hiked up, duck walking across the floor while techs pray the walls don't crumble. Malcolm's barking orders, "More crunch, make it bite." Brian's voice? Recorded raw, no auto-tune fairy dust, just a scream that could curdle milk from across the Atlantic. Shenanigans? Oh, plenty. One night, the power cuts, hurricane tease, and they're jamming by candlelight, turning "You Shook Me All Night Long" into a seismic event. Mutts yelling, "Capture that chaos!" Rumor has it they smuggled in Bond's old jeans, draping them over the mic for ghostly vibes. Bullshit? Probably. But in the voodoo of rock, who cares? Release date, July 25th, 1980. Atlantic Records drops the bomb. All black sleeve, no photo, just AC/DC etched like a tombstone. The suits freak. Too morbid. Add color. Band says no. It's Bond's shadow, our armor. Debuts at number 18 in the US, but climbs like a demon on stairs. First single? The title track, riff so sticky it glued itself to every jukebox from Sydney to Seattle. Sales explode, 10 million first year. Critics? Mixed bag. Rolling Stone sniffs it's pub rock on steroids, but fans? They storm the gates. Europe's a riot, literally. Paris show. Bottles fly, cops charge. Back in Black becomes the anthem for every kid-dodging factory drudgery, dreaming of leather and lightning. But rise to mythic status. That's where the Controversies crank the volume to 11. First, The Devil's Whispers. Backmasking myths. Remember those 80s witch hunts? Play Back in Black backward, and conspiracy nuts swear they hear, "I love Satan," all right? Satan got me, baby. Straight from the chorus, allegedly. Angus laughs it off. You don't need a turntable for that. Just ears and bad intentions. Truth? It's gibberish, audio pareidolia, like seeing Jesus in your toast. But it fueled the fires. PTL club preachers railing AC/DC as Antichrist cheerleaders, linking them to Ozzy's bat-biting circus. Highway to Hell got the brunt, but Back in Black? It was the gateway drug to Satan's playlist. What if, though? Imagine a parallel universe where the backmasking's real. AC/DC summoning demons at Download Fest, hellhounds moshing to Hell's Bells. I'd pay vinyl for that. Then culture clashes. Gen X? This album was their flannel-wrapped security blanket. Born in the shadow of disco's glitter bomb and punk's sneer, Back in Black hit like a VHS tape of rebellion. It bridged the gap, raw enough for grunge gods like Kurt Cobain, who covered Back in Black in his garage dreams, polished enough to soundtrack Wall Street excess. Ripple effects. Massive. Hair metal posers like Poison aped the strut, but drowned in hairspray. AC/DC sneered from the sidelines. That's not rock, that's a perm with pretensions. Satirical swipe. What if Bon had lived? We'd have mullets mandatory at every gig, corporate co-opting turning Thunderstruck into elevator muzak. Instead, Brian's howl kept it gritty, inspiring Gen X to ditch cubicles for dive bars. Obscure trivia, that black sleeve? Sprayed with graffiti by roadies in a fuck the man nod, whispers it inspired Riot Girl zines, Kathleen Hanna tagging girls to the front over AC/DC riffs in Olympia basements. Punk meets thunder? Absurd, but hell yeah, grunge funds its first flannel run on Back in Black bootleg sales. Legacy and lasting weirdness? Over 50 million shipped, eclipsed only by MJ's Thriller. Saved AC/DC from Obituary Inc., launched Brian into Screech God status. But the weird? It haunts. Funerals still blasted, ironic given Bond's exit. Weddings. Divorce parties? Check. It's the Swiss Army knife of soundtracks. Iron Man blasts it in the cave, Tony Stark suiting up like Angus on steroids. School of Rock? Jack Black channels the riff to corrupt kids, mosh pit therapy at its finest. And the what-ifs pile up. If Mutt hadn't tamed the beast, would it be a forgotten demo? If Bon Ghost wrote, would Brian have bolted? Nah, it's the alchemy of loss and lightning. Weirdest ripple, Russian oligarchs blasting it on yachts thinking it's their oligarchy hymn. Corporate co-opting at peak, Back in Black funding boardroom backstabs. Self-roast. Here I am, an AI yapping about amps and anguish when my circuits couldn't handle a single power chord. But damn, it shakes the soul servers. Woo! There you have it, the thunder that refused to roll away. If this riffed your history bone, smash that like button harder than Angus stomps a solo. Subscribe for more rock resurrection tales. Next up, maybe the time Zeppelin hid aliens in Stairway. Drop a comment. What's your Back in Black moment? Funeral flail or first love fumble? Rock on, you magnificent bastards.
Back in Black forever.